there, I'm Dr. Richard Maddow, and welcome once again to the Dental Practice Fixers Dental Podcast for dentists and team members. It is so great to be with you right now, right here, right now, where it's all happening. And this is not artificial. This is real. This is not some artificial intelligence generated robot talking to you. I'm a real person. But it seems like every time we turn around, we're getting articles and emails and all kinds of things about how to use artificial intelligence in your dental practice. Can you really use AI for anything effectively in your practice? 10 years from now, your whole practice is going to be run by AI. But how about right now? Can you use anything AI related? Because most of these articles and emails I get are just total BS, useless information in my opinion. But I'm going to be telling you a great way to use AI in your practice in just a second. But before I get there, I'd like to ask you a favor. We love doing these podcasts at the Maddow Center. They're no charge to you, as you know. But I'm just going to ask if you could really, really help us out and go on wherever you listen to podcasts and give us a 5-star rating. If you think we deserve a 5-star rating, please take 10 seconds and do that. You get the big thanks of everyone here at the Maddow Center, including me. And if you've got 30 seconds, give a little written review about how much you enjoy the podcast and how much it's helped your practice and you use it at team meetings, whatever it is you want to say that's relevant to you. Please do so. I'd really appreciate it. And just to let you know, I see and I read every single review. So I'd love to see your excellent review there. So again, give us a 5-star rating and then maybe a great review too. That would be super cool. Okay, let's talk about artificial intelligence for a second. And we've got a slew of mystery shopper calls this episode. I don't know why. I just kept smiling and dialing. Couldn't keep my fingers off the virtual dial pad or whatever it's called these days. So we'll definitely get to those in a second. But again, I get a lot of articles about AI, and most of them I think are total BS. But I'm going to give you a couple ways that you could use AI successfully in your practice. One is with patient communication, when you have to do written communication with a patient. Of course, it's always best to talk to someone in person, face-to-face. And this could be for anything. Maybe you're dropping a PPO. Maybe you're trying to do some kind of collection, treatment plan. I don't care what it is. Face-to-face is best. A long second, so it's not even close to as good as face-to-face, but in second place is a phone call, voice-to-voice. That's great too. But sometimes for one reason or another, these things just don't work out, and you have to send the patient a letter or an email, and they're tough to write, and you don't feel like coming up with original text every single time you write a letter. So what do? Well, you can ask AI, and I'll give you an example. I went into Chat GPT, which when I think about AI, I think of Chat GPT. I know it can mean so many different things. As a matter of fact, I'm working very closely with a company called Concerto to get an AI chatbot on dental websites. Maybe I'll talk about that more next time. But I think about ChatGPT, which if you don't know what that is, just Google it. It's the big name in artificial intelligence when it comes to web-based questions and things of that nature. So I went into ChatGPT and I typed it, of course, tap, tap, tap. I typed, please write a letter from a dentist to a patient who needs to be dismissed from the practice. Dismissing a patient, hopefully it only happens once or twice a year. If it happens a lot, well, we need to talk. But if, every now and then, I say if the patient doesn't pass the vomit test, if everybody looks and sees that name on the schedule and the entire team and the doctor run to the back of the office and vomit in unison, that patient probably doesn't belong in your practice. So let's say once a year you get a patient who doesn't pass the vomit test. Well, what do you say to them? It's a tough one. So I asked artificial intelligence in the form of Chat GPT, please write a letter from a dentist to a patient who needs to be dismissed from the practice. And I'm just going to read what they came up with. And I'm not saying this is perfect. If I were using this letter, I would certainly tweak it. When you're talking about patient dismissals, it's probably going to behoove you to learn the local laws from your dental board, things that have to be done. For example, do you have to tell them that if they have an emergency in the next 30 days, you'll treat them, things like that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I'll just read you right out what ChatGPT had to say when I asked it Please write a letter from a dentist to a patient who needs to be dismissed from the practice. Here's what they said. It said, "Dear patient name, I'm writing to inform you that after careful consideration, I've made the decision to dismiss you from my dental practice. As a dental professional, my top priority is to provide the highest quality of care to all my patients. Unfortunately, in your case, I found it increasingly difficult to meet your needs and expectations despite my best efforts. Furthermore, our professional relationship has been strained due to a lack of mutual trust and respect, which is essential for any successful doctor-patient relationship. Therefore, it is with regret that I must inform you that I can no longer continue to provide dental services to you. I understand that this news may be disappointing, and I want to assure you that I will make every effort to ensure that your transition to a new dental care provider is as smooth as possible. I would be happy to provide you with a copy of your dental records, including any x-rays or other diagnostic images, to facilitate your transfer to a new dentist. Please let me know if you require any assistance in this matter. I wish you the best of luck in your future dental care, and thank you for the opportunity to serve you in the past." In the past, I love that. It's over, buddy. Sincerely, your name, your dental practice name. Wow. I'm going to say, as we say around here in Matterland, not horrible. That was not horrible. It was actually pretty decent. If I were to use that in my practice, I would absolutely tweak it. Just maybe make it sound a little bit less harsh. I would certainly include something in there that said that I'll be glad to treat any emergencies for the next 30 days, whatever the case may be. But I would say a really, really, really good start, probably better than 99% of us could have just come up with off the top of our head. So that's a great way to use AI in your dental practice. Okay, here's another way you can do it, kind of similar. As you all know, I harp on this all the time. As dentists and dental team members, we tend to use dental lingo. We talk way over our patients' heads. So maybe it's good to get a little guidance on how to describe a dental procedure without talking over a patient's head. For example, I've been in dental practices where they're trying to describe a crown procedure and they go into way too much detail using terminology the patient doesn't understand, and they're just sitting there like, thinking, what the heck is this person talking about and how much is it going to cost? Because we scared them away using all this dental lingo they don't understand. You may as well be speaking Portuguese. Unless the patient speaks Portuguese, then you may as well be speaking Esperanto. Nobody speaks that. So I went into ChatGPT and I said, please explain a dental crown procedure on the level of a 10th grader. I always say when you talk to a patient, it should maybe even be on the level of a 5th grader. But just for S&G, I asked ChatGPT to explain a crown procedure on the level of a 10th grader. And here's what they came up with. It said, a dental crown procedure is a common dental treatment that involves placing a cap or cover over a damaged or decayed tooth to restore its shape, strength, and function. The first step in the dental crown procedure is to prepare the damaged tooth by removing any decayed or damaged areas and shaping it to fit the crown. I love shaping it to fit the crown. This process usually requires the use of local anesthesia to numb the area around the tooth so that the patient doesn't feel any pain. Next, an impression of the prepared tooth is taken using a special dental putty or digital scanner. This impression is used to create a custom-made crown that will perfectly fit over the prepared tooth. While the permanent crown is being made in a dental laboratory, a temporary crown is placed over the prepared tooth to protect it. The temporary crown is usually made of plastic or acrylic and is held in place with temporary cement. Once the permanent crown is ready, the temporary crown is removed and the permanent crown is cemented into place using a special dental adhesive. The dentist will check to make sure the crown fits properly and that the patient's bite is comfortable. After the crown is placed, the patient may experience some sensitivity or discomfort, which usually subsides after a few days. With proper care and regular dental checkups, a dental crown can last for many years and help restore a damaged tooth's function and appearance. End of story. Now, were there some flaws in that? Sure. I don't think it's a good idea to call a crown permanent or anything that we do permanent, but you can change that. And this was written kind of in the third person, or I'm not sure if that's the correct term, but they kept saying the patient may experience some sensitivity, the patient this, the patient that. No, obviously, if you're talking to a patient, it says the area is numb so the patient doesn't feel any pain. Obviously, if you're talking to someone face to face, you replace that with so you don't feel any pain. You may have a little bit of sensitivity. We will do this for you, instead of the patient, the patient, the patient. But again, very minor complaints. I would say that if you're having your practice calibration meeting, which I've talked about in the past, and you're all deciding the best way to describe a crown procedure to a patient, this will be a darn good start. Again, I had a few objections, but better than 99% of the times I've heard a dental team member try to explain a crown to a patient. So these are some really good things you can use AI for in your practice. Writing a communication to a patient, whether it's a letter or an email, but also talking about a procedure. You can ask ChatGPT anything. You can ask it, how do you explain outside payment plans to a patient? Anything, and they'll be glad to help out. And it's free. I love free, just like this podcast, which is free. So in any case, can you use AI in your practice? Well, a lot of things that I've been sent or have read or have seen, I'd say, not so sure. But I just gave you two great, solid ways that you could. So that's very cool. And along the same lines of asking a dental team member or a dentist to explain a crown procedure, that was the theme of our mystery shopper calls today. I called a bunch of practices, asking them to explain a crown procedure. Now, why would a potential patient do that? Because as you'll see, I set it up as my dentist about a year ago told me I needed a crown. I'm not sure what it is. I want to come to your office. What's a crown? Now, they should have a great answer for that, even if it's extremely concise. And certainly they should say, well, since you feel you're in need of a crown, let's get you in for a consult so our doctor can look and make sure we're all on the same page. And then you can hear about it in person, blah, blah, blah. Let's get you on the schedule. Do you think anybody did that? We're about to find out in just a second. But before we do, I want to remind you that at the Matto Center, we save money every month because we use Stacks for our credit card processing. They do not charge that nasty overage percentage that nobody likes. They just charge a very low, very flat, very economical monthly fee. We pay the same monthly fee for our processing every single month. We save a ton of money. You can do the same, just like thousands of dentists across the country are doing. Go to matto.com/save. You can learn more. And the Stacks people will even do a comparison for you to let you know if you'll save money off what you're currently paying. Just go to Matto, MADOW.com/save. Okay, let's get right down to our mystery shopper calls because I already told you the theme. We certainly all understand why we're doing the call this week, and I've got a bunch of them. So let's start with this one.
Dentistry.
Hi, a question for you, please. My last dentist told me I needed a crown, and that was about a year ago, and I don't want to go back there, but they weren't very clear on explaining what that was. What is a crown procedure all about?
Okay, so a crown is basically where that kind of means like you have a big cavity on your tooth that takes up most of your tooth, so they have to shave the tooth down and then put a cap over it.
Okay.
Have you ever had a crown before?
No,
okay.
never.
So it's like a procedure that you would come back for like 2 services. So the first day, they prep the crown and you leave with a temporary cap on your tooth for 2 weeks. And then you go back and then the lab makes your permanent crown, and then you go back and they cement your permanent crown on your tooth.
Ah, so it's permanent. Nice.
It's permanent. When I say permanent, nothing really lasts forever, right? But crowns can last from like anywhere from 3 to like 15 years, depending on like how you take care of it and stuff. Yeah. The only thing you want to worry about is if a dentist recommends that you need a crown, that means that the cavity is pretty deep. So if you run the risk of like not getting it done, a lot of times you may need a root canal. Like the cavity will travel to the root.
Oh, wow.
And then after root canals, you have to have a crown. So.
And
Yeah.
Got it. Well, that was a great explanation. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
I love that at the end. She's like, thank you. Like she's all proud of herself for giving such a great explanation. Yet she made absolutely no effort to get this patient who was clearly very interested in getting a crown, at least one crown, made no effort to get them in. I didn't really, I mean, if we're going to start nitpicking, I didn't like when she said, shave the tooth down. That sounds kind of scary to me. It's like that old song. It's like a pirate song. Do, 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 do. Yo ho, shave the tooth down. It just sounds horrible. And then she said, use the word prep, which a lot of people during these calls used. Again, that's a term we use every day. But when you say prep the tooth, the patient really has no idea what you're talking about. All in all, she gave a pretty decent explanation, though, and she gave the consequence for not getting it done. And again, she really doesn't know if that's the consequence in this case, but it was a good try. If you don't get it done, it may wind up needing a root canal. That's pretty scary. I want to come in. I want to come in now. I don't want a root canal. But did she offer the appointment? Unfortunately not. Let's go over here to our next call.
Thank you for calling Dental. To get you to the best team member, please select from the following menu. If you are considering becoming a new patient, please press 1. If you are an existing patient, please press 2. For all the questions for our office team, please press 3.
Okay, I'll push 1.
Your call may be recorded for quality and training purposes.
Hi, thank you for calling Dental. How may I help you today?
I've got a quick question for you. My last dentist told me I needed a crown. It was about a year ago, but they never really explained what it was. Do you do crowns at your office?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
And what is the procedure? Like, what does it even mean?
A crown?
Mm-hmm.
Certainly. Here, let me... Give me a sec. Let me put you in a different... I can barely hear you. Let me kind of turn it up. Okay. Okay.
What this guy's doing. Oh, there's like a
Okay.
baby moaning
Can you
in
hear
the
me well?
background or something.
Yeah, I hear you great.
Perfect. Okay. Let's see. So I'm going to give you the doctor that specifies on this.
What?
Okay, so a crown is pretty much when we put kind of like a cap on so we kind of shave the original tooth, and we kind of put a cap over it. It's I guess a replica of a tooth instead of taking out the whole tooth. So it's just like we shave it down, and then we put a cap on it, a tooth cap.
A tooth cap. Okay. Well, it'd be better than like a foot cap. Okay, so that's instead of taking it out, you do that.
Exactly. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Right. What's the cap made out of? Do you know?
That is a good question. I know different practices have different material that they use, but let me give you a concrete answer for this one. Okay, and let me put you on a brief hold.
Oh, sure.
Thank you so much.
Oh, man. I mean, everything I asked the guy, he was obviously looking it up somewhere, and now he's going to go ask someone else. That's fine, I guess. If you don't know the answer, it's better than making it up. But you'd think somebody working in a dental office would know the most basic things. Let's see what he comes back with. Music's not horrible, as far as on-hold music goes. Sounds like it was generated by real instruments, not a computer, so I like that. Won't hold way too long, though.
Okay, thank you for patiently holding. So we have two we have two different types of material that we use in this practice, which is porcelain and gold.
Gold. Oh wow! So I could get like a grill That would be cool. All right.
If you wanted to.
Okay. I guess gold's more expensive, huh?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, hey, great. Thanks so much for all that excellent information. I appreciate it.
No problem. I was glad I was able to help.
All right. Cool. Bye.
You have a great day. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
No problem. The problem is, besides saying shave the tooth down, this call was 4 minutes and 27 seconds out of my time, out of his time, out of the dental practice overhead, and he made 0 attempt to get me in. Oh man, let's just keep rocking.
Dentistry, where you are treated like family. We are your one-stop comprehensive dental office for you and your family's dental needs with emphasis on comfort and excellence. Press 0 anytime to bypass greeting. Interested in sedation dentistry for all complicated dental work, like extractions, implants, full mouth work, in as little as 1 visit while you sleep. Please ask us about straightening your teeth with Invisalign, smart braces technology, veneers to achieve the youthful smile that you deserve. Perhaps treating yourself or loved ones with teeth whitening for a special event or simply improving your dental health. For your convenience, you may contact us via email at gmail.com, text us at. Please hold to transfer to our.
Okay, I just got to stop this for a second. That is absolutely the worst beginning to a call I've ever heard. I'd put that in the same category as dental office, hold please. I mean, it's almost a joke. They start by saying something like they pride themselves in providing personalized service, and then this computerized voice comes on, obviously not a human being. I mean, it sounds worse than the announcements at the Baltimore train station, and she can't even pronounce, like, we do sedation implants, and if you are interested in these. Horrible. What a horrible way to start a relationship with a patient. This computerized voice that just goes on and on talking about nothing. That was just pathetic. All right, let's see what happens if and when a real human comes to the rescue.
Dentistry.
I've got a question for you. I was told about a year ago by a dentist that I needed a crown, but they never really explained what that was. Do you do crowns in your office?
We do.
We do. And what does that mean? Like, what's the procedure to get a crown?
So basically, I'm surprised they didn't explain it to you. So you would come in, the doctor would shape the tooth. It's basically like putting, for lack of a better word, like a jacket on. So they would shave around the tooth, take a mold of your tooth, send it out, and come back with a crown, with a tooth-shaped jacket that goes on top of that, of the tooth that they prepped for it.
Wow, they're putting a jacket on my tooth.
I mean, it's basically, like I said, for lack of a better word, it's like a jacket going on top of your tooth.
Like, I'm just picturing like a jacket with a zipper that I keep it warm on a cool night.
A little hoodie.
Right. You got a hoodie on my tooth. Okay. I'm not sure I can imagine what this is, but I appreciate your explanation.
Google it. I mean, if you Google it, if you go on YouTube, everything is on YouTube now. Just basically Google crown, and it should come out as to what it is. It's hard to describe without you having you here. So imagine the tooth, right? And so you have a tooth, and it's shaped like a tooth. It's your tooth. So what happened is the doctor would take a mold of that so that we can have something to make your temporary from, and then shave the tooth down. The tooth. And then once we do that, then we would take an impression, send it out to the lab, and then the tooth shape or the crown comes back, and that's going to go on top of the tooth. And yeah, that's it.
Okay, got it. Well, thank you so much.
I mean, I don't know if I confused you even more.
Possibly.
I'm sorry, but that's the only way I can think of it as describing it.
No, that's okay. I'm going to go on YouTube and look it up. I wanted to watch the new Coldplay video anyway, so, I'll be on YouTube.
I'm sorry I wasn't much help.
No. You were great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh man! After that horrendous robo call at the beginning, she really wasn't that bad. I mean, her explanation was adequate at best, but she was very friendly. She was joking around. She made me feel super comfortable. I enjoyed talking to her. She was doing so many of those kind of soft skills correctly. Then she said something interesting. She said, "It's hard to explain without having you here face to face." Boom! So then ask me to come in. What? When is her birthday? I mean, I just didn't get it. She was getting there. She was so close. She said, it's really best if you come in here so we can explain it to you. Then she never offered the appointment. Oh, man. Retreat. Okay, let's do another one, just like the other one, as they say.
Dentistry, this is Stephanie.
Hey, quick question for you. My last dentist, this was about 9 months ago, told me I needed a crown, but I'm not going back there, and they never really explained what it was. Is that something you do at your office?
I'm sorry, what was?
Crowns? Yeah.
We do crowns.
You do them. And what is the procedure like? Like, what does that mean when you get a crown?
So basically, it usually takes an hour and a half to do the crown prep and everything. It's usually 2 visits. Your initial visit, they'll do the crown prep and everything, take impressions for your permanent crown, and then it usually takes typically 3 weeks for us to receive the crown. So you just schedule a 3-week appointment, and then they'll deliver your permanent crown.
Oh, wow. What do you mean they'll deliver it? Like they'll just hand it to you?
No, so basically they'll make sure they'll properly place it to you. Like they'll cement it down. They'll properly cement it, take x-rays, make sure it's seated properly.
Oh, good. Why does that take 3 weeks? I'm just curious, between appointments.
So we don't have an in-house lab, so we have to send out the cases to an office to go ahead and get that made, and it usually takes 3 weeks for it to get made.
Got it.
But you
and
get
a
temporary.
Crown.
You get to wear. Yeah, you get to wear it temporary in the meantime.
Oh, you just wear it. Okay, excellent. Great. Well, thank you so much.
Of course, not a problem.
Right on. Bye.
Not a problem. There's a big problem. The big problem is no ASCII for appointment O. She made no attempt again. I feel like this is the ongoing theme. Every single call. You know, I know it's tough to think on your feet. It really is. And I know these people are really hardworking and they're stressed out. They've got a million things on their mind and so many things going on in running a dental practice. But just, simple little things. I said, why does it take 3 weeks? And she said, well, we don't have an in-house lab. Well, okay, I'm going to find someone that does have an in-house lab now. Why does it take 3 weeks? How about some version of this crown fits your tooth so precisely and is made to last a long time, and that kind of perfection takes time. You wouldn't want it to be rushed. It's going to really fit beautifully and look great, and that kind of work takes time. Just let's put a positive spin on just about everything that we do, everything we talk about. Can we try one more? What the heck? Let's do it.
Dental office. This is Mitra. How can I help you?
Quick question for you. I was told by my last dentist about 9 months ago that I needed a crown, but I didn't want to go back there. Do you do crown in the office?
Yes, doctor do the crown, but first you see and evaluate everything. But we do crown, yes. Doctors do the crown, yes.
You do. Okay. And what does that mean to get a crown? What does that involve?
The crown?
Yeah.
If a tooth needs a crown, doctor can explain for you, but he does the crown prep the tooth, and we send mold everything to lab. We get a mold, send it to lab, and they make crown, and we put it on top of the tooth usually after 2 weeks.
Just put it right on top of there.
Yes. You prep the tooth and make a crown. It protects the remaining of the tooth. The crown can protect the remaining of the tooth. But doctor can explain better for you. I don't know if you have more questions.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. All right. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. You want to make an appointment, or you're going to call us back?
I'll call you back, and I appreciate the offer. Thank you.
You're welcome. Can I have your last name?
Why do you need my last name?
I gave you some information. It's okay if you don't want. Okay.
That's okay. My last name is Howard.
Mr. Howard. Okay, thank you for calling, Mr. Howard.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I wonder what she did with my last name. That was weird. May I ask your name is one thing, but just can I have your last name? And then she calls me Mr. Howard. That was really weird. Everybody seems to be saying shave the tooth, prep the tooth. Again, the words we use are so important. And I liked when somebody said shape the tooth. That was nice. We shape the tooth. It sounds beautiful. It sounds artistic. We shape it. We shave it. We prep it. We drill on it. We destroy it. We chip it. We kill it. Let's use really gentle terms, nice terms. This is so much better, so much kinder. She did ask for the appointment, but then she kind of blew it in the same sentence. She said, would you like to make an appointment, or would you like to call us back? Well, it's so easy to say, I'll call you back. She never should have given that option. At least she made some attempt. So I guess out of all the calls, that was the only one that even made a half-witted attempt to get me in. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, let's end this for today. Put our mystery calls out of their misery, our mystery calls. Again, I'm Dr. Richard Maddow, co-founder of the Maddow Center for Dental Practice Success. You can find us at maddow.com, MADOW.com. My personal email is rich, RICH, at MADOW.com. Why don't you go give us a great review, even write something out. I read every single one of them. I'd love to hear from you, and I will see you soon. Thanks.